Well, it is night, and you're trying to eliminate as much as you can, of the lights. I mean, just right out, not even 100 feet away, right outside on the brick remark, like one big light over to the right. I mean, like these are huge lights. There's the one big light over there, and then you got little small guys, then another small. Oh, look at that, the moon. Okay, fourth day. Okay, and then you got another light over there. Huge, huge. And then you find out that you can't even sleep. And I'm putting some barrier. This cloth has the copper oxide, CuO. This has copper oxide on it. I've taken it and I drenched it in copper oxide nanoparticles. And of course, it's taking some of the influence away. But they say, no, you can't even let any light come in. It just gets so complicated. And even that, see that little light right there? That little light? That will disturb. It's just incredible. The human body has a clock. A clock that is regulated by no light. And if it senses no light, then it makes melatonin. If you have any light in your room, it's going to be difficult to make melatonin, which means you don't go into delta, which means in delta it's like a slow wave. It's like you could call it the down to earth wave, where the whole brain is dedicated to clean. Let's clean up all the electrical equipment up here. Let's get it all in shape so it can take care of the next day. But if you don't enter into that, it's like a cycle of 90 minutes, actually. Sometimes it was just said, oh, you can only have it 90 minutes a night. But actually, every 90 minutes, you're going through this 3 cycles. Yeah. And, one is faster than the other, one is faster than the other. And the REM cycle, the REM cycle, the rapid eye movement cycle, that is when you're closed. Your eyes are closed. Your eyes are just rapidly looking for things. Yeah. So these lights are a disturbance to the most important part of life, and that's going into delta. And I make a joke, but men have 2 heads. One head you don't think with, and the other head you think with. So I would say that, they're different, but they're not. I just came to the realization by the doctors, that they're not. Testosterone, the manly gene, or manly hormone, the manly hormone, the testosterone, that can't be produced if you don't go into delta. So here I got a complication. And I mean even a complication on top of the complications. You got prostate problem. Oh, well, why do you have prostate problem? Well, you're not making testosterone. Oh, you're not, you want to take a supplement, it doesn't work. It has a whole process of how to make it. And then what happens is the prostate is like this boa constrictor around the urea, the little canal that comes out for you to urinate, you got this boa constrictor, and if he doesn't get his testosterone, he starts putting pressure on that, and you're not allowed, you aren't able to pee. Oh, but my heart just feels so good. I have no urge for lust. No. That's a big lie. You got the urge, but you haven't got the equipment. Yeah, the person's saying, "Oh, I'm almost in 80s. I'm just leaving." But now I should be very, very happy. Well, I'm not very, very happy. I'd rather be very sexually mad and then have to try to control that madness, and that's where the spiritual advancement is. I got no urge. I got no testosterone. I got a prostate that's enlarged. They say enlarged, but it's just like cramping down on my urinal canal, so I can't even go to the bathroom. So when you're younger, you think I'm gonna be so happy the day comes when I'm no longer. Don't pray for that one, unless you are actually spiritually enlightened. Unless you're spiritually enlightened. Why do I say that? Because even Sanatana Goswami points out a verse, and I can't find it. Somebody can send it to me, where it says the vital liquid comes out at such a level. In other words, but not the semen, but the cum. So our understanding is you're thinking, oh, I don't have an urge. No. The statement is so incredibly on. The erotic, your urge for sex life, that erotic emotion is not different from unalloyed love for Krishna. Swallow that one. The erotic emotion, you're supposed to be when you guide it, the same symptoms of the unguided will be there. But of course, symptoms of love of Godhead, your projection will be just on love of Godhead. There's some difference in the canal, but it's happening in the same place. There isn't a different place. So my top head that can think is telling my bottom head that can't think, you ain't got anything. You just ran out. Your stockpile's over now. So, that just gives the order to the prostate, okay, cramp up, enlarge, and do so many other things. In other words, what we think should be happening in the old age is not really what's happening in the old age of a pure devotee of the Lord. It's not anywhere near. The pure devotee of the Lord, being in this movement, 13, 14-year-old girl, that same, and now remember when they say 13, 14-year-old girl, they don't mean like the ladies nowadays. They're 1.5 years. That's how they measure it. So, let's say 14. Okay, so then 14 and 7 is 21. Of course, they're going to feel something for marriage. So a 14-year-old girl, yes, I'm a 14-year-old girl in the pastimes of Krishna. Well, those urges that I'm having for Krishna are the same urges that come to the ladies, but they project it wrongly. And the same urges that come to a man, that we're just not projecting it right. And I never did pray for it to go. I'm sorry to say that. I wasn't getting tired of it. I was saying, this is all right. You know, what the heck? Just fight it for a while. But now there's no fight. It's like, you know, I'm without any battle. I'm without any armament to fight any battle, and I'm feeling a lot depressed. I want to be like, at least have a little testosterone, you know, when I lay because I'm, you know, when I was supposed to be in bed at 10, it's 11 o'clock. But I want my brain to just go into it. No eating at night. Yeah. You know, you can eat something. There's you know, the guys that are doing all this, they say no eating after sunset. But there is a possibility of eating. It's 2 muhurtas after sunset. There's a small opening there that you can eat. But it's not for heavy food. It's for food that's just like comforting when you're going to go to sleep. You know, something comforting before going to sleep. You know, because you don't want your liver working, because then the liver doesn't let the mind go into delta. So no eating, actually. You got to take pills and things like that. That's a little fiasco. But, you know, what can we do about that one? Yeah. Oh, well, I was just trying, because, you know, when all of a sudden you realize what the heck's going on here. You know, you're like perturbed. What I was because, you know, in the 1970, let's see, that's 73. Yeah, 1973, we were deported from Santo Domingo, Nicholas Vare and her husband and me. Yeah. And then I went out on the street and I found Kalidas, and he spoke to me, and right about at that time he told me that, you know, when you get older, your urinary system's going to shut down. And I said, oh, really? You know, back then. So it was really a surprise to me, you know. But now I understand why it shuts down. It really shouldn't shut down. I'm not that old that it has to shut down. But because I was not taking care and I wasn't aware of what was going on. Oh, my dear friends that are men and everything. Hey, you know, don't think we're any different than women. Yeah, I'm not homosexual, please. But don't think we're any different than women. It's even being shown that in so many places that we have a cycle of a 24-hour cycle, because men are governed by the sun, Surya, and women are governed by the moon, Chandra. So their cycle is 28, and it's more apparent. There are different mood swings and things like that. But the men have the same thing, only in a 24-hour day. So don't think yourself so much different than the ladies. Yeah, we have the same cycle, but only 24 hours we have to go through. And then we go into it again in 24 hours. So I know the ladies must suffer in the same way that the men suffer. So there must be something that happens, but I don't know. But definitely the men have the prostrate problem. Yeah. And definitely it starts shutting down. And you have to, you know, you got all these cells, there's some new cells being made in the hippocampus, right in your like neck, a little bottom part. In the hippocampus, every morning there's these new neurons that are coming in. And at the end of the neuron, there's telomeres. And those telomeres that are coming out, they have three functions. One is a function of growth, one is a function of maintenance, and one is a function of deteriorating. It actually does that. So it's programmed. If you don't be careful and everything, go to sleep at the right time, and things like that, then you're going to program the deteriorating function. Yeah. My sister, she had a pancreas attack and everything, and the doctor, the thing he was more scared of was that all of a sudden the pancreas, it will shift to destroy itself. It'll become self-destructive. So she was almost at that when all of a sudden it picked up and started working again. So we can get this working again too, boys. We got to get it working. You got to take really action, and try to keep the balance of the testosterone. And women have testosterone, but that is what makes estrogen. That's the fountainhead. So we got the both, but theirs, they don't use the testosterone. They use the estrogen, but our testosterone can make estrogen. So we got to keep the balance. Got to keep the balance somehow or other. And you remember, even in the Bhagavatam, it's stated that it's the ultimate stage, like an ecstasy, where the liquid comes out. So it's there. It shouldn't be ignored. We shouldn't feel embarrassed. Oh, my scripture is talking sexually. No, it's not. It's trying to give you indications that what is happening in your body, and it should be happening. It should be like bothering, and right now I just have absolutely no desire for any illicit activity or anything like that. But without that, how am I going to measure if I got it out of my heart? I want to get it out of my heart. I don't want to just because when you take it out of your heart and you put it in the real channel, you get the same reaction, and I'm getting no reaction. I didn't know. So what's the benefit? I better get this testosterone, back into functioning and being made, or else it's just going to all shut down. Because it doesn't get better; it gets worse. I think I'm up to 85 cc's in the prostate. So it's getting pretty high up there. Sorry, ladies, you don't have to listen to me, but that's just how it is, The erotic principle, an unalloyed devotion. You can call it the erotic principle, and that same erotic principle that you're calling it, you can call it unalloyed devotion. You got to use your brain, and you don't want to be a sahaja. We get scared of so many titles. Oh, I don't want to be a sahaja. I want to this, that, but forget it. Just don't act supposedly spiritual, but don't go against your feelings. You got to go to your heart and feel your feelings out, boys. Yeah, you don't want to lose it. You don't want to be like me, just sitting on the end of my bed. It's getting late at night. Why should I even go to sleep? Nothing's going to happen. Anyway, the deities during the day and give me so much enlightenment. Akshay Tritiya was so nice. I took Gornitai down. But the best place to stand was over there by Radha Damodar, because everybody's coming from Seva Kunj down to Radha Damodar or Radha Raman, or people are coming from Shama Sundar down, or they're going up to Shama. In other words, like it's the biggest crossroad around here. Or even the Banka Bihari have to pass through there too. So I was just sitting there, and I became a tourist guide for about an hour and a half. I was singing there too, Mostly Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. And Nitai Gauranga made a 700 rupee hit. Yeah. Yeah, while we were there, some people became alive and gave little donations here and there. Usually I can go out on a Soba Yatra, and maybe you'll get 300 rupees, people giving. Maybe. Makes me feel like they're all stingy. But last night, over 700. Over 700. Gornitai must have been pleased like anything. Because that's if you do Radhastami, the people are like really anxious. Radhastami, and another one is Bihar Panchami of Nidhivan. Those two, the people come out and they give donations. Well, get up to about 700 rupees. So here I was only 2 hours out and I had 700 rupees. So I'm going to make a business of this one. No, I was out there early in the morning, and I got the cart fixed up so we can go out easily. Yeah, so that there's no problem for them to go out. They should go out all the time. Gornitai just love to be out there. Okay, well, I better get to sleep. Let's see if my mind will get into the testosterone. Or, yeah. I'm seeing, sorry, change subject matter so quick. Bhagala Mukti. Bhagala Mukti is an expansion of Durga. Bhagala Mukti is an expansion of Durga. And her day is to remove bad things, okay? So they're making announcements, after every YouTube, there's an announcement of Bhagala Mukti, and give your donation and be protected from bad things. But if you think about it, Bhagala Mukti is in the Devi category, and what is she going to do? Kick out Devi? No, she's not going to kick out Devi. But an amazing thing is that in Jayadev Goswami's Samadhi, there was a nice copper yantra of Bhagala Mukti. So I have because I took care of that Samadhi and everything was almost getting thrown away. So I have Jayadev Goswami that was in his Samadhi, his Bhagala Mukti, and the other one that was prominent was Brihaspati. So those two were in there. So on Thursday I do Brihaspati, Guru, and then Bhagala Mukti on Friday. So this year, Bhagala Mukti Day, the Astami, it's an Astami, the Bhagala Mukti Day is on a Friday. So I'm going to worship my Bhagala Mukti. I'm not going to ask her to remove bad things. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell her, why don't you send a lot of bad things so they can burn off my karma? Let the karma get burnt by Bhagala Mukti, no problem. let all the bad things come. But I bathe her on Friday with the deities, you know. So Bhagala Mukti, she'll get bathed this time, and thinking of Jayadev Goswami and how he loved her, and how Brihaspati also he loved. So, yeah, I'll leave you with those thoughts. Yeah. The world is not as simple as we may think it is, you know. Yes, I'm going to send in money, and Bhagala Mukti is going to remove all the bad things. And Bhagala Mukti is not going to remove her own Devis. She's not going to remove her own Devis, you know. Yeah. Okay. Haribo, Haribo. I'll try a new one. I'll try the old Egyptian way. The Egyptian way, you really can't have any light, because they would go to the cellar. They would go to the cellar underneath the pyramid, so that there would be no light. That means there was electricity, my friends. There was electricity without wires in Egypt. Yes, there was electricity without wires, and then the Jewish guys they stole the Ark of the Covenant, but it was just a breaker. It was the major breaker of all the electricity that was coming out of the pyramid. And that then Pharaoh, he didn't have any men that knew how to fix that. So he lost all his electricity, and he really got mad at the Jews. It just cracks me up, because, the Jewish, they're so nutty. They're always going, oh, the Ark of the Covenant, Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, it had two lights, one red and one green. So they'd bring people in front and, ask them if they stole something, or if they hurt somebody. And if the light went green, well, yes, he did. And if the light went red, no, he didn't. But, it had nothing to do with connection with God. Nothing. These crazy Jews, madmen, just totally madmen. They stole it, and they didn't even know what they were stealing. Oh, the Ark of the Covenant. Ay. Just mad people. Okay, yeah. Okay. But wherever I was, anyway, it's a happy day. It's a happy day today. And happy to talk to you also. Can't see me, but I don't want to turn any more lights on, Want the little old mind just to calm down. If you have any light that disturbs, you're not going to be able to get the right type of sleep. And it will disturb you in time, especially these LEDs. It will disturb you. It would. I feel like just like I might as well be an AI, because I have no emotions for, coming on top of me. There's no emotions, because it's getting turned off. My testosterone is my heavy duty emotion also maintains all the other emotions in the line. Wouldn't that be the logic? If a heavy duty hormone is controlling a heavy duty emotion like lust, isn't it thoughtful and logical that also in some way is controlling all my emotions? Of course, that is it. So my emotions become dead. They become unalive. So even if you're in a wheelchair, or even if you can't even get out of bed, get the testosterone going. Don't let it go down. That's especially for us men. Don't let it go down. Just keep it going. If you got to fight the old urge, don't fight too hard. But, go, just fight it. look at it straight in the face and fight it. But don't be angry at it. Yeah, don't be angry. That's the one thing that takes you out of the parasympathetic. Yeah, when you get angry or those kind of emotions, you're no longer in parasympathetic mood. So you can't do it. You're just unallowed to do it. You want to always be in the parasympathetic mood because that's the human mood. The other mood is just bodily mood. Nothing more than that. So don't get the angry mood and the forceful mood. You know, yeah, angry and forceful to yourself. You know, angry at yourself, forceful to yourself. You'll come out of the human mood. You know, you got to be human, especially you have to have a lot of gratitude that your body has served you so well for so many years. Okay, good night.